Now, this episode wasn't that bad. We actually got more information on some things that were kind of still unclear. We got more information with Kang Dan and her relationship with Hyung-soo. We knew that she was part of his campaign. We knew about the spreading the false rumors part, but we actually got more information on that. We also got more information on Seung Jae's situation. We knew he was cheating. There were hints in previous episodes, so it's not really anything new. What's still up in the air is why he quit being a doctor and became a law school student, and also why he said to Eun-suk, "It's your fault." I mean, he could have said that because he kind of was taken aback by Eun-suk interrogating him, or maybe he did mean it and say it was her fault. I mean, it's not really her fault that you decided to hack laptops and start cheating on the tests. So there's that. We actually got a little bit of information about the whole Geo versus prosecutor Jin. We knew it was Jin that spread the false rumors, but what we didn't know and what we found out in this episode was it was prosecutor Jin that told Geo that it was Byungju who spread the rumors. And then we have Jong Hoon's trial, which is still going, and we have now Yesu's trial because of the situation at the beginning of this episode, which is also the ending of the last episode, which I will talk about in a moment. Not gonna lie, the whole "I want you to be my witness" thing is being passed around like money in this drama. I mean, the perfect example would be between Gio and Solbi. So there's that one scene in this episode where these two are still talking about Solbi's plagiarism, and Gio still doesn't believe that she wrote it when she was in middle school. And Gio, at one point, he said, "Hey, I need your help. And if you can help me, I'm going to believe you in you writing that paper." And then Solbi was like, "Oh, okay, so it's me getting your trust. And how about this? If I help you, you need to help me. I want you to be my witness that I wrote the paper since you and me went to the same middle school." So it's like witness is just being passed around these days, huh? Now let's talk about Seung Jae. So we were taken back to the same flashback when Eun-suk was hurt, she was bleeding, she was taken to the hospital. And I think it's the same flashback that was shown in episode 2, I think. I could be wrong. But it was when Seung Jae asked Eun-suk, "Can I look at it?" At that time, remember, we didn't know that he studied to be a doctor. And to me, just watching that flashback, it was just weird for him to ask her, "Can I look at it?" But now knowing that he studied to be a doctor now is not weird at all. But what I said at the beginning of this review, it's still up in the air why he quit being a doctor and started to become a law school student. And then here comes in a doctor, which happens to be his wife. First off, I want to clap for them because they have been trying to have a baby, and she was trying to get pregnant, and things were just not working. And then eventually she got pregnant. She showed Seung Jae, and yeah. So again, I'm gonna clap for that. Now with the exams, so we knew he was cheating. And then here comes Eun-suk coming into Jong Hoon's office, and they were pretty much talking about it. And yeah, they knew that he was cheating because the answers that Seung Jae put on the test was the exact word for word that Eun-suk had on her files. And it kind of makes sense to both of them that he hacked her laptop while she was in the hospital because Juman knew that he fixed her laptop. Juman asked him to fix his laptop, which he hacked, and the reason why he went to Jong Hoon's office and hid in his closet was because he was trying to hack Jong Hoon's laptop. So yeah, there's that. He's such a doctor to lawyer computer hacker. That's pretty much Seung Jae. Now for Jong Hoon's trial, prosecutor Jin just keeps continuing to pushing and pushing. But then Kang Dan's name is actually being brought up. So it started with the plane ticket. Jong Hoon had a plane ticket to Boston, a one-way plane ticket to be exact. So everyone was assuming that he bought the ticket after he murdered Byungju. But really, he bought the ticket to go to Boston to try to find someone, and that's Kang Dan. And we knew that Kang Dan was once part of Hyung-soo's campaign, and she became the whistleblower, admitting that it was Hyung-soo that spread the fake news about his opponent to win the election and so forth. But then Prosecutor Jin said, "Oh, wait a minute, Kang Dan, she was the one that dropped all of the charges and left South Korea." But then Jong Hoon's attorney said, "Wait, how did you know that?" And then he came up with some BS answer saying that Byungju told him. Yeah, right. Byungju told him. And then the trial keeps continuing, which it doesn't really seem into Jong Hoon's favor. Only if Seung Jae comes forth and said that he was not around Byungju by the time he was murdered. But I don't know how Seung Jae is going to admit why he was in the closet in the first place. But maybe they can say something else to try to prove that Jong Hoon was not with Byungju. And also only if Seulbi admits that she saw the sugar packet, which later on she does come up and said, hey, I want you to announce me as the witness, because now she's ready to admit that she saw the sugar packet. Now let's talk about Yeong Chang. So with his situation, we knew what happened. Yesu, she pushed him, he tripped over the parking guard, whatever, and then his head hit the rail. And then he was bleeding a lot, and then Yesu was trying to call Seul, but then Jong Hoon came and took the phone. Now, we thought it was going to be something, but it was actually Jong Hoon didn't want Seul to be involved, and he actually called for 2 ambulances. So we're at the hospital. Hyung-soo finds out what happened to his son. He's pissed off. He goes to Yesu. He's angry at her, screams at her, and wants her arrested. Here comes the cops trying to arrest her, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, she's the victim too. She's in the hospital. You're trying to arrest her. Can you at least wait for her to get tested? Get healed up? I mean, no common sense whatsoever. But then here comes Jong Hoon coming up to Hyung-soo and said, hey, she's a victim too. And she was trying to prevent your son from spreading the sex tape. And if she gets interrogated and tells the truth, you can say bye-bye to your reputation. And then fast forward, the doctors are done with the operation. They tell Hyung-soo they're done with the operation, but it only depends if he wakes up or not, which does get Hyung-soo pissed off. Eventually, he does wake up, and Yesu, she's there on her knees apologizing, but in the end, Yeong Chang is pretty much an asshole. And then later on, we do find out that Yesu is going to get sued by Hyung-soo, and even though that Yesu is the good person in this one, she was the one being framed, Yeong Chang is pretty much the bad guy, but here comes Hyung-soo trying to pay his way out, telling his attorney, my son was trying to break up with her. My son wanted to delete the video. My son is being framed for having the camera in the clock in the first place, and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, man. But then fast forward to the end of the episode where the students did come up with an idea of self-defense, and they were trying to help Yesu with her trial. And then Yesu is pretty much on trial. She doesn't have an attorney, and the judge asks, where's your attorney? And we were thinking no one was going to be her attorney in the first place, but here comes Jong Hoon, music plays, and he comes in and says, hold up, I wrote it down. He says that he requests a jury trial. And that was the end of the episode there. Now, it does seem like in this episode, it's like focusing on the main plot, but then also having other problems to focus on. It's almost like, yeah, they are going back and forth a lot, but really what I see is them trying to connect the dots to everything related to it. Because in the end, everyone has a connection with the situation, especially Prosecutor Jin and Hyung-soo. The fact that Hyung-soo is involved in one trial, we're going to see a connection that will lead him to the main plot of the murder of Byungju. And I've said this before, I don't think Byungju got murdered. I think it was an overdose of drugs. And remember the note, it says that let me leave this hell. And I think the hell part is him basically dealing with Prosecutor Jin and Hyung-soo. And I think Byungju didn't want to be around them anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the episode. If there's anything I might have missed, please leave it in the comments below. I really enjoyed this episode, even though it does seem like they're jumping around from main plot to subplot, main plot to subplot to another subplot. Don't worry, they are definitely going to connect the dots and everything will just be related into the main plot. And also, I cannot wait until the main characters take down Prosecutor Jin, Yeong Chang, and Hyung-soo. I cannot wait for that to happen. Yeong Chang, at first, there was a part of me that felt bad, but after he continued to act like an a-hole, yeah, he deserved every single part of that. And after Yesu's trial, I hope he gets sentenced to jail. And that'll give his dad a bad reputation. And then just seeing him be involved in the main plot, oh, that's gonna have him be removed as the assemblyman. That's just my guess on that one. So other than that, I really enjoyed the episode, and if you enjoyed this review, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. See ya.